Hello everyone and welcome to Creatures of the Realm. Tonight we have a mighty creature called the Basilisk. The Basilisk is a very cool D&D creature. You can use it in many areas in your campaign. But before we get into that, I want to wish everybody a very early, happy Valentine's Day. Have a great time tomorrow night. And be safe overall. Secondly, I want to tell you that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, the Campaign 3, Vampire, Dark Ages. Yes, that's right. We're running this game. The old school Vampire, Dark Ages. So we're running that game. Campaign 3, Episode 5. Join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We have a lot going on. That being said, let's start. The Basilisk. What is amazing about the Basilisk? First of all, that creature, that monstrosity, can turn into stone. It's known for its deadly gaze. So, if you know what, this creature is cool. Because if you see the Clash of the Titans, that movie, Perseus, he had the shield. So remember Medusa? Same concept. The only thing is, this creature has 8 legs, and it is pretty big. Again, it's monstrosity, and it is a devious creature. But if you look at the stats, if we're just looking at the numbers wise, here, let's take a look at the stats. An armor class of 15, natural armor, of course, and hit points of 52, speed of 20. That may not seem like much, but in a devious game, in a campaign setting, great creature to have. Now, if used right, and your player is not rolling 20, like mine did in campaign 1, they really beat the Basilisk up. I mean, it's just one of those things. So, I have to give them credit. My first campaign, filming, the Basilisk was overwhelmed. Let's put it this way. So let's begin. The Basilisk is in the cave. You have a hero with a shield of some kind. You can't look at the Basilisk, because if you look at the Basilisk, it's going to turn you to stone, period. And you don't want that to happen. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about. And I know normally I do 2 creatures, I'm doing 1 tonight. The reason being is because there's a lot to talk about this creature. It may not seem like a lot, but if you look at the D&D version, it's kind of empty, because there's a lot of historical parts or aspects you can use with this Basilisk. And not only do you know that it's a creature that you need to make a saving throw when you gaze in its eyes. You can't look at it, so right now you're at disadvantage attacking this creature. It has a challenge rate of 3 with 700 experience points. But let me tell you, you could play around with that if you want to. I wouldn't, because it is a creature that can turn into stone. Petrifying Gaze. Now this is D&D thing. On a failed save, the creature magically begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It must repeat the saving throw at the end of the next turn. And a success, the effect ends, and a failure, you're petrified. And greater restoration spell or other magic can make you, can change that petrification process. Now, with that being said, the main thing that I love about the creature, the lore. If you look at the D&D, it'll give you the environment, what it does, stuff like that. But it really, how it's going to act, doesn't really give you the lore. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. You look at the monster manual, it doesn't really give you the lore. So what is a lore? What is the lore of this reptile? It's a symbolic meaning. It represents profound evil, destructive power of sin. Now, if you're looking at in the biblical sense, this is what this creature represents. It's God's judgment upon the wicked. So if you're looking at this and you use this symbolic meaning with this creature, it'll make your campaign much better. And it really it'll be impactful because you have this meaning behind the creature. Now the creature starts developing. It's not empty. In Dungeons and Dragons, the monster manual, it just gives you the stats. Look and the environment, and that's pretty much it. It gives everything to the DM to give it a little bit of sassiness. The only way that you're going to do that is to do a little research. So now let's continue on the symbolic meaning. Biblical context. If you look at Isaiah and Jeremiah, this reptile, this creature, it's a deadly reptile. It's been mentioned in most parts of the Bible. And faith brings that out. So this reptile is a symbol of evil. You know that in the Bible, of course, there's the reptile, the snake. The snake symbolizes evil in itself. So imagine this creature that can turn you to stone. A little bit more sassiness, a little bit more meaning, much deadlier. But it also gives, and if you have 5 players or 4 players in your campaign, it brings the environment, the setting, the story to the table. Now this creature has more life. It's not just a bland, creature. The origins, if you look at Greece, it's legendary serpent, and it's called the Little King. You can look that up anywhere. And it's a little king that has a crown. So just remember that. It's that legendary serpent. So now you have the biblical aspect, the symbolic meaning, and you have the mythological origins. So now you're bringing this creature to life. More or less, when this creature meets the players, it's really going to be very impactful. It's going to be deadly. It's going to have more of a meaning behind it instead of AC and how many hit points. It's not going to be a blank page. Let's go back to the Christian interpretation, because that's where it really brings out the creature. It's the symbol of the devil because it is a reptile. And yes, it has 8 legs. It's monstrosity. It turns you to stone. The origins are mythological. And it's, judgment from God, because this creature, what it symbolizes. So now you have this party going into a cave in your campaign, and this creature, you see humans, different races, with their weapons, with their guard, shield up, sword up, turned to stone. And the sad thing is, these people, they're venturing, these adventurers, and they met this creature, the symbol of evil. Imagine that. So now you have this devious symbolic meaning of a basilisk. Not just, oh, it's just a creature that turns you to stone. No, it has a deeper meaning. And it makes it fleshes out the story more. It brings out the powerful, innate evil of this creature. It's more than just, like I said, a blank page. In ancient descriptions, a venomous serpent, and it's capable of killing with a gaze. And that's where you get your turn to stone. But in medieval times, its descriptions are of a hybrid rooster. So those are the things you can look at. Now, can you put all this in your campaign? If you want to have creature be meaningful, have substance, yes. If you want the creature just to be empty and just be the target, then throw them in there and the players will be like, huh. You learn as a storyteller or game master, as you tell your stories, these creatures that come up that are in the monster manual, give them life. Just like the players are worried about dying in the story, the creatures are worried about protecting the environment they live in. Yes, Basilisk is not very intelligent. If you look at the stats, stat-wise, it's a -4/2, but it's very strong. Again, Dungeons and Dragons, the monster manual, and you can play around with those stats. It can be intelligent because the serpent in the Bible was intelligent because of what it symbolized and what it manipulated. It manipulated humans. It did things that you had to make a choice between good and evil. And the reptile, this snake, this eight-legged creature, per se, can be that powerful. You don't have to make it that powerful. You can really make the creature bland and just have him attack, have his tail, move in its back, make a sound. He's running up to the players. Doesn't even have to be a he. Make the basilisk have a nest, protecting the nest. No matter what you do, just remember that a bland creature is born. Oh, you're attacking a dragon. Well, okay, you're attacking a dragon, you're having a big battle, a dragon flies all over the place, swirls around you. There's no magic behind that. There's no ambience, there's no personality. But if you look at these meanings behind this basilisk, symbolic meaning, the biblical context, if you look at all these meanings, they really give you the story of what that creature is. What's the backstory of the creature? It's not just a page off of a book. It's not just an empty creature. It could be protecting its nest. It could, like I just said earlier, it was just the players, the heroes are in the wrong place at the wrong time. And how many times has that happened at any campaign? You guys are adventuring because you want some little gold or silver in your pockets, and you do this adventure, maybe slay the goblins that took from the town. Just, and you happen to run into the basilisk. What happens then? Now there's fear. Because you have the story of what's going on. You have your overall. Let me look at my my stream here. Got a notification. Making sure everything's good. Yep, we're good. Still up. So you adventure out for a little gold or silver, and you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I love those things because it's like you have this idea with your party. You're like, yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and take out these goblins. We're going to go over there and we're going to take out the goblins. We're going to get the coin that they stole from the town. But then you realize, oh, there's something else in the way. There's this creature that can really destroy your party. And with these meanings behind it, it'll flesh out the creature, it'll make him stronger, per se. Because it has personality. There's meaning behind it. You can say, oh, an evil creature. But what good is that? Maybe the party found a book of the warrior that's turned to stone, and the book has, a journal, even better. A journal that has the adventurer writing about the Basilisk, writing about what happened, giving hints to how to take out this creature. And of course, you're not going to give it away, but the stone humanoids or different species in the area are going to give it away that this creature is the one, or they might say there might be Medusa in it. There might be a woman with snake-like hair. What is all that? Well, I want to tell you something. When I wanted to do the stream, Creatures of the Realm, I love the creatures of D&D. I love, you have all these creatures in books. You can read them, you can use them, you can change them, however you want to do them, however you want to play them. You're the one behind the screen. You're the one that's creating the story, creating the environment, giving the creature personality. What's great about it is you can really look at it and say, man, that's a cool creature. I'm going to use the goblin. I'm going to use the ogre. I'm going to use the ooze. I'm going to use the basilisk. So whatever you use, make sure that it's fun for the party. Now, let's go back to the stats for D&D. Petrifying Gaze. The save is DC 12. Constitution save. Not very difficult, right? Only if this creature is used in a low level party. Levels 1 through 3, this creature can be a handful. Levels 1 through 5, it still could be a handful, but you might have to pump it up a little bit. Now, Petrifying Gaze, Constitution save as 12. Remember I said you could change it up however you want it to fit your story? There's things that you can do to make it feasible to have this creature in the setting that you want. Now, if you make them a little bit too powerful, especially with something that can turn you to stone, that's kind of not fair. But they're adventuring heroes. You ever, like I've said this before, you ever play a video game where you just went into the different room, and it's a holy shit moment where it's like, oh, I'm dead because you went into a different room. You died instantly. This is those times. So if you're going to change things, make sure that you do it reasonably and don't make it too difficult for your party, your players. Because this creature has this petrifying gaze. And of course, the bite. Piercing damage, 2d6 plus 3. That's, can you imagine? That's 12 points right there. And then you add 3, that's a lot. 15 off with that, plus 2d6 poison damage. And that's just the bite. Yep. So its attack, it just bites. There's no slashing, just piercing. Melee attack, plus 5 to hit. Yep. 1 bite is all it does. Again, it's very low level creature. Low CR rating. But if you have a decent party, it can really bring some life into it. So let me come up with a little scenario. So you have this party that goes to town. In the town, they tell the party, I'm looking for adventurers. There's a creature in the caves just north of here. I need someone to go venture out for us. We had a couple volunteers from town that went out. They're missing. They've been missing for a couple days. We know there's a creature in the cave. I hope they didn't die. And somebody, please. We'll pay well. So we get into a lot of role playing, a lot of emotional moments. The town magistrate tells the party that, hey, I'll pay you well if you look for 2 of our townspeople that went out in the cave and were missing for a couple days. You find out what happened. That's it. But we heard that there is a creature, so be careful. The magistrates being nice, they get paid well, give them provisions, whatnot. They tell them it's north of here, north of town, about a day's ride. So they go. They have a wagon, maybe a couple horses. They have provisions, they have the weapons, they have things they want, and they go. Along the way, there's no encounter. But when they get to the cave, it's a large cave, and you have a fighter, you have a mage, you have a cleric. So you have a healer, a cleric, and a fighter. They all go into the cave. The fighter leads, of course, takes point, followed by the cleric, and then the mage. Let's go with the wizard. So they are in the cave. There's no light. The mage uses magic to cast light. They can see before them. Stalactites, stalagmites, the thick greenish substance from the stalactite drips. You can hear them in the cave. They move forward cautiously. They don't hear nothing but that and then the echoes of their own voice. So they know this is a big cave. Somewhat, but not sure. So you have them roll a perception. Very simple. Look around, nothing. They continue, and the cave opens up. Opens up, very open area. In the middle, it looks like there's some water gathered. In the distance, just beyond that, happens to be a crate that's been smashed. They look around. The fighter, mage, and the cleric, they all look around. Again, they go within 5 feet apart. They stay together. They don't split apart. Rule of thumb: never split your party. If you do, make sure you do it properly. So they go into the crate, or over to the crate. It's around the water that looks like a crater in the center of the cave, and there's water that filled up. So they were around it. They were around it. They saw this crate that's destroyed, open, and they looked, nothing in there. But as they looked, they heard something. The cleric, having the highest passive perception, I made a roll, and he rolls. The cleric, the cleric is female, she rolls. The fighter is male, and the wizard is male. 2 males and 2 females. She looks, the cleric looks around, and she notices that there's a sound coming just beyond the crate. So she warns the other 2. The other 2 failed their rolls. So they're all cautious. They're all very cautious on what to do next. So they move accordingly, safely, cautiously. As they move forward, they start to notice on the ground, you see an orc, a massive orc. It looks like he's crawling, male. And his hands are on the ground, his body is up, and he's looking forward. Not moving, he's petrified, turned to stone completely. So now, one of them makes an insight, or they make a perception roll. They look, or investigation, however you want to do it. They look around and they're worried about the situation. One of them, the mage, tells the cleric and the fighter, hey, this is not good. This is, someone's turned to stone. You have to be careful. As they proceed on, the 3 of them notice there's columns. In each column, there's moss web around the columns, massive. There's 3 of them, and which is weird because it looks like a structure constructed inside a cave. And as they move forward, they notice that they are entering a structure inside the cave. And as they do that, they notice more individuals in different positions turn to stone. You see this archer with the cord pulled back, and he's turned to stone, looking forward. They notice the arrow in the distance on the ground, broken in pieces of stone. So they look. Again, they're cautious, and they see other statues turn to stone. A female hiding behind the column, her head peering out at the wrong time. And at that point, as they're investigating and looking, they hear a growl. and they hear movement. By the cleric's high passive perception, she warns the party there's something here, and by that moment, they see the basilisk. How would you fight in this scenario? You have two columns that you could hide behind. You have statues that you could hide behind, somewhat. So you have some form of cover. Cover is the number one thing. Observation is the other. Because now, as you walked into the basilisk territory, environment, you have to remember where the creature was, how the creature was standing. Was it looking forward? Was it looking to its side? Because now you cannot gaze upon this creature because it'll catch you, and the petrification process will begin until you eventually turn stone, and now you have to have greater restoration or something of that nature, and if you don't, you're done. So how would you go with this scenario? Let's continue on. This is what I would do. I would have, you have a mage, you have a cleric. The cleric doesn't have, it's not high enough level to have greater restoration. None of them have that. But they do have an advantage because, as you remember, the creature can be blinded as well. Let's go back to the stats. The creature, again, very bland. Senses, dark vision. You can only see in dim light within a specific range, where bright light and darkness within that range, as if we're dim light. You can discern colors in the darkness only as shades of gray. Passive perception 9 or 60 feet. So now, you could try to blind this creature. Because it's in a cave, it's in structure, blinding it, or maybe throw something at it, make it look somewhere else, and then have your distance attacks, your mage attack, your cleric, guiding light, guiding bolt, guiding light. So, depending on what type of cleric you have, distance attacks and hide behind those columns. Give the players, give them a challenge, but also give them tools. Okay, those are debris. Maybe a broken table flipped over, they can hide behind. Maybe a barrel they can hide behind. They see, broken glass, broken mirror. Use the whole Flashing Titans thing, which was fabulous. Do the Perseus is like, oh, check, I can see Medusa. But that is awesome. So now you have the players entertaining. Now you have the basket there. Remember, I described the symbolic meaning and all that. Throw that in there. Maybe one of the statues has a journal. Have them find the journal before the battle, before they see the creature. However you want to throw it in. Maybe the broken, like I described, the broken crate. You have the journal right there with some items. Maybe a vial of this red liquid or whatever. Maybe that's a greater restorations. um, liquid of some kind. It's in liquid form. It will turn you it will not turn you, it will heal you. Whatever it is. Give the players challenge, but also give them tools. Make the creature, give them challenge. Make the creature well-rounded, meaning it's not just an 8-legged creature. It's not just a dumb reptile. It is a symbol of evil. This is what I would do. They find the journal, they read it. The cleric reads and says, hey, there was a group of individuals who's worshiping this reptile as a god. So wait a second. Wow, so you have a cult now. So you have a cult worshiping a creature. Remember, you're trying to find the 2 people that went in here in town, and they do find them. They return the stone. Now the party they make a decision. Let's go back and tell the magistrate we have our money, or kill this creature. Decisions. And that makes for a great campaign too. A simple Basilisk with creativity, with meaning, gives life to the creature, brings out the creature. It's a symbol of evil. There's a cult. There's people worshiping it. Why? Out of fear? Out of something else? Whatever that is, connect the dots, drop the clues, you have your story. This could be a one-shot. It can be called, let's see, what's a good title for this? How about the Cave? I don't know. It's just, it's a dumb title, I know. But you can call your game the one shot, the Cave of Evil, or the Cave of Illusion, or the Cult, stuff like that. Make it interesting. Make it to where the players will be entertained, the players will have fun, and it's not just a piece of paper. Oh, we're just fighting a creature that can turn you to stone. Ooh. Yeah, it's scary, it turns you to stone, but there's something more. There's a cult that was worshiping it. This thing is evil, incarnate. Why? Why was this cult doing this? Why are the 2 people in town missing? Why do they want to go? Then they realize in the journal that the magistrate isn't really a nice person. The magistrate was coming to the cave a multitude of times. He was dealing with the cult. The cult asked for people, townspeople. And the magistrate said, okay, I'll send you 2. On a full moon, however you want it to work. It can be a full moon, it can be a night, it can be whatever. Whatever it is you decide, 2 people from town are sent. The magistrate gets paid by the cult. But, remember I said in the beginning, money is missing from town. The magistrate has to make it look like something happened So each adventurer that comes into town, he hires. It's here. So it's kind of like a revolving money laundering scheme, whatever. The adventurers go to the cave, they return to stone. The magistrate goes to the cave, meets the cult. The cult gives him the money. He gets his own in pockets, but he gets the money that is the target, is the bait. So now you have your one shot, the Cave of Evil. There you go. Man, I think I like this story. It's pretty cool. So you go back. Well, anyways, let's go back. So the party, the mage, the cleric, and the fighter, they're trying to decide what to do. And just before they fight the creature, they look in the journal, they have information. Oh, there's this cult. So then they see the creature, they get into the battle, and they're not having well, the first few rounds went well. The mage, or the cleric, guiding bolt, bam, hits the Basilisk. Basilisk is still up, because it is a powerful creature. The fighter throws a dagger at it, because he can't get close enough to hit it, because it'll be a disadvantage. He has his eyes closed. He doesn't want to get nailed by its bite. That's another thing. It has claws. Another thing I don't like about the D&D version. So if you're looking at the monster manual, right? Actions, bite, attack +5, one target, gives you piercing damage. Doesn't the creature have claws? Doesn't the creature have claws? Oh, it has 8 legs and it just uses it for walking. Really? You could change that. His claws, 2 attacks, a bite, and a claw. But I guess they say, it has petrifying gaze, and the bite is enough. Well, however you want to do it, but I think it's kind of stupid that the creature can't claw you. I would write it where it can claw you. Again, bland, boring. Throw in the symbolic meaning. Throw in all this stuff. Give it life. It's not just a bland creature. They have so many creatures in the monster man, and a lot of times you run into a creature and it looks, the artwork is great and it looks awesome. You're like, oh man, this creature is badass, and you read and you're like, huh, really? So now the DM has to reinvent the whole damn thing. Okay, so you're in the cave. They started with town. They got the money. The magistrate gave them money. The party went into the cave. They found the journal. There's a cult. Now they're fighting the Basilisk. So how do you destroy the Basilisk? The mage doesn't have a lot of spells because they're low level, but it does have spells that can hurt. Let's do a little bit of fairy fire, stuff like that. It does damage. The fighter manages to get close enough to hit it. Let's say, percentage-wise, how would you rate this battle? Do you think that a cleric, a wizard, and a fighter can defeat a Basilisk? Absolutely. I do. Strategically, strategy-wise, yes. Now, I'm going to roleplay the creature as it is. I am not going to have a low intelligence. I'm going to have higher intelligence. Because the creature, being evil and having these meanings behind it, is going to be devious. This is its lair. It is not a dragon. No. Do not mistake me by all means. It is not a dragon, but a basilisk. If you really bring these meanings into the creature, it will be intelligent. I would give it, let's look at the stat scale. As an intelligence of 2, -4, I would bring that out to at least 11 or a 12. I would bring the wisdom up as well. I would keep the charisma to a -2, 7. I would keep the dexterity, -1, 8. The strength, I would keep it. Constitution, I'd keep that too. But I would bring up the intelligence and the instinct, making it an intelligent creature. Because of not only that it does this, it petrifies people. It really can be a devious creature. And with low intelligence, the creature, if you role play it correctly, it's just going to be in its environment. So if you're role playing it the way, same scenario that I have here, let's say there is no cult or anything like that, and they fight the Basilisk, the empty version, the D&D version of it, the emptiness, nothing. There's no lore, nothing. So they fight it, and its intelligence is so low that it's just going to attack. It's not going to be smart enough to do the things I want to do. It's not, because it's going to attack on just instinct, and it's not the symbol of evil. And to be a symbol of evil, to be those things, you have to be intelligent. My opinion. You disagree with me? Put it down in the comments. We'll have a little debate here. But no, it is my opinion, because the creature can have depth. You give it intelligence, you give it, not just instinct. It's going to be a good creature. Oh, the creature is just attacking an instinct. So technically, if it just attacks on instinct, you can flee, and it will just keep going. But if you attack an intelligent creature, and it purposely turned the stone of these adventurers for a reason, is this creature worshipped? Like I said, the cult is worshiping it. So they know something, a devious secret. And the devious secret is, dun dun dun, the devious secret is that this creature changes to something else. It polymorphs. And the intelligence behind it happened to be a wizard. We're like, oh, how does a wizard change into this creature? It can't. It polymorph. How does, there you go. Now you know why Basilisk is intelligent. Because of this creature. Because of this wizard. This evil wizard. Vile, evil wizard. He's a cultist. So let's change the title. The Cult. But there you go. So you have this, and I'm kind of throwing stuff out there. So, on the fly, sandboxing. So, you have this Basilisk, who is intelligent, who happens to be a wizard who polymorphed into a basilisk. How does it change people's stone? The wizard has an amulet that can petrify people. Very, very simple. It can be a sorcery. It can be whatever you want. Change it up. But this cult is deadly, it's devious, and they want to see people be delivered to the creature, so they can worship the creature like a god, and then after everything is said and done, the campaign or one shot is completely over. And the wizard, player, and the fighter defeated the best. Those three. What happens after you defeat this creature? You move forward. You find the cult, you have a big battle. Or you won't have a battle, a role-playing mode. Find out why. Maybe the cult isn't as strong as it was. The strength came from the creature. They figured everybody turned to stone, the cult comes out, takes what they want, ooh, gone. So, if you look at just any creature in the monster manual, let's look at the Blight. The Blight, very cool. It's a much weaker creature, but it gives you legend. It gives you a little bit of a background. So not only that, there's substance in that creature. So why would they give substance in one creature and not give anything in the other? Because if you ask me, the Basilisk, if you look at that picture, it's really cool. And the only thing they give you of substance is how it can turn someone to stone. And of course, don't remember that when you kill a Basilisk, you can grab its parts because those things are worth money. And you can sell it, or that liquid can also be of value to turn things into stone as well. Or maybe something that's bile of this creature can be let me see here. Yeah. So, yeah, if you process the basilisk's gullet and the fluids contained within, properly handled, the gullet produces an oil that can return petrified creatures to flesh and life. There you go. So, if you have those things, that's a reverse right there. So if you kill a creature, you can do that. Now, if you have all those things in your game, if you have what I told you, the symbolic meaning, the context, and the mythological origins, the Christian interpretation, ancient descriptions, all those stuff, and throw that in there and do a little one shot, or maybe put it in a big campaign, right? It'll make the story move, intriguing, mysterious, exciting. And you know how they say curiosity kills a cat, satisfaction brought him back. Yeah, all that stuff, you know, those are the things that really bring life to a campaign. I'm a big believer in that. I'm just not, I'm just going to throw this creature in there and like a goblin, even as simple as a goblin. Goblin, you could look in the monster manual, it'll give you what the goblin does, you know, how many people the goblin, how many other goblins, how much is in a horde, you know, their environment, all that stuff. It gives you everything. But you go into a creature, let me look, and this guy, nothing. Yeah. And you go into a bullywog, a frog people, humanoid frogs, right? They give you a lot more with those guys than they do with the Basilisk. Why? For the life of me, I don't understand. If you're gonna do something and make a book of monsters, give them the substance. Give them not just the environment and stats. Give them the substance. Give them substance. Give them something. Give them say, oh wow, this creature's cool. Oh, it can turn somebody to stone. Big deal. But it is evil. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, but it's okay. Because if you look at it, the last thing I want to talk about quickly, if you look at it, it'll tell you, oh, it's unaligned. But according to mythology, according to biblical meaning, symbolic meaning, according to ancient descriptions, it's a symbol of evil. And yet, it says it's unaligned. Tells you how stupid they are. No. Sorry. Don't make them black. Do your research. Oh, I want to run a Medusa in the D&D book. Read up what Medusa is in historical. Read up the historical part of Medusa. And then bring that in. Parts and pieces. You don't have to do everything. Anyways, that's all I have for you tonight. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Creatures of the Realm. What would you like me to review, talk about? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7. Take care.